Pig. It has been a couple of weeks now instead of just one. I was on vacation in California, took the family to Disneyland, and took the twins to the beach for the first time. And I am excited to be back here and playing Kerbal Space Program. Poor Jebediah, shown here, has been stuck right here on the moon for both of those weeks, and it is time to rescue him. First, just a little bit of housekeeping here. Let's take a look at the mod list. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I've added a couple things. Again, I'm keeping this as close to stock as I can with some quality of life improvements. So a lot of this at this point is dependency mods that are basically libraries and resources for the actual mods that I'm using. So things such as click-through blocker. So we've seen community Delta V maps before, crowdsourced science, environmental visual enhancements. What I've added is Hangar Extender, which means that I can toggle off the entire vehicle assembly building if I need to build something that is I'm a little bit too constricted in the space in there. And let's see, what else is new? Persistent rotation. Persistent rotation is updated, and so I've got that installed. So now even if I go on a time warp, my craft will continue rotating at the same rate, which is, I think, really needs to be a part of the stock game. It's too easy to just abuse the fact that time warp instantly stops all rotation for maneuvers. And also, I just like having my barbecue rolls and rotating spacecraft. Let's see, what else here? Waterfall. I've got Waterfall installed. That adds better looking plumes for the engines, so we'll be seeing a lot of that. And I think that's basically it. So, yeah, as I mentioned, the rest of these are dependencies and resource mods for the other mods. Alright, so let's get that out of the way and jump into the game, and I'll show you what else I've been up to off screen. I haven't done any missions off screen, just a little bit of general maintenance. So as we wait for this to load, I'll just wait for it to load, I guess. Alright. I've adjusted the sound levels as well so that I won't be quite so overwhelmed by the engine sounds, but they will still be a little bit loud. But let's see. Last time we got some, I think we had gotten the research done before sending Jeb to be stranded on the moon. So first let's hop right into the vehicle assembly building. And I've made some minor upgrades, minor but important upgrades to the ship. So let's first take a look at Moonshot 2.0, which is what we sent Jebediah to the moon in. And yeah, familiar craft, 2 big SRBs on the side, and here's the lander right here in this fairing. And take a look specifically at the Delta V. For the core stage and boosters, we've got about 3,500 meters per second Delta V out of a total of just over 9,000. Yep, over 9,000. And if I go and let's take a look at the upgraded version, Moonshot 2.1. It is very slightly more expensive. The other was about 44,000 Spaceos. This is 45.5. And it's the same core, although I have slightly adjusted the ratio between the first and second stages. So we have slightly less Delta V, about 50 meters per second less, but more of it is in the later stages. And this is going to be important. I can get up and out. Hold on. I've got some chat. Want to become famous? No, I think I want to ban you. There we go, banned a bot. That is alright. So we've got more of the Delta V with the efficient engine. So we have less Delta V overall, but we are going to be using it much more efficiently. Especially since this is more than enough to get out of the atmosphere. In fact, if I do the most efficient gravity turn, I will actually stay in the atmosphere long enough to be going fast enough that these engines will explode because of the heat. And I definitely don't want that. So we're going to be going in a relatively inefficient but effective for this rocket flight profile. We'll be going pretty high up. And so I've got 4 of these smaller SRBs, so there's about the same amount of booster thrust, but they burn out sooner, and I've got them staging in pairs. And in order to make this stable, I had to add plenty more fins here on the bottom. So yeah, we've got about 1 kilometer per second less delta V in the core stages, but we have almost the same amount of delta V overall, and we can use it much more effectively. And there's one more important upgrade. If I can see it from here. There we go. I've added, let's zoom way in here. I've added some landing lights. So even if we land at night, we will be able to see the ground coming up at us. But the plan is to land during the daytime to rescue Jebediah. And I thought about sending our backup pilot, Valentina. I've been using Jeb exclusively because he's the original, and this is a nostalgia trip. But we do have a backup pilot, Valentina. But I would need to use the Mark II command pod, which has 2 seats. And that would require some redesigning of the lander, which I'm not quite ready to do yet. We're already stretching this fairing out to a wider diameter than I would like, and it's causing plenty of drag. That is why I needed so many fins here on the bottom. So I think I'm going to wait until I have the Mark III command pod and have a 3-person crew in order to use that. I could use the P reentry module, but I just like these old school American Mercury capsules, so that's what we're going to use. And for this specific mission, I have replaced the top parachute with the Probodobodine Octo so that we can send this unmanned. And as we have seen with our painfully slow parachute recoveries, we already had more than enough parachutes, so this will be fine. And let's just make sure that I've got no crew aboard. Ah, yeah, Valentina tried to sneak aboard. Let's see, I think it simulates the Kerbal masses now. Let's see if our delta V changes. It does. Okay. So we actually have slightly more delta V after all. Alright, perfect. Let's see, and that is all I have to say about that. Let's go ahead and head out to the launch pad, and I can show you the configuring I did with Kerbal Engineer Redux. I'd mentioned on the last couple streams that I wanted to configure the HUD so that it had more useful and more in general data, and I was hoping for a way to make it bigger, and I did both. So I was able to adjust the GUI size just for this, so hopefully this will be a lot more legible in stream and easier for me to see as well. So what we've got here, we've got our altitude and speed relative to whatever body we're over, and that body's name, biome, and our situation. So yeah, we're landed at Kerbin's shores. And this we already had before, so apoapsis, periapsis, and our times to each, but I've added our orbital inclination and eccentricity and orbital period. And over here I have vehicle data, so our full mass, including just, I think this is just the staged mass. I'm not entirely sure. This might be dry and wet, although no, I think this is the staged mass, because I have noticed both of these changing as I go. Acceleration speaks for itself. Thrust to weight ratio, so current out of the total available. So if I have full throttle for the first stage, I can do about 1.85 Gs. So I think, if I recall, that's about what the Saturn V did. And that's a pretty good number to aim for a first stage, is about 1.8. You want at least 1.5, and 2 is a bit high. And so our current stage delta V out of the total, and this is not properly counting this. I think it'll change as we go. And then there's more data that will be shown under the separator after we are off of the pad, and that will have to do with planning suicide burns. And this here, if I use this interface here, I can choose either a celestial body or another ship, or even rover or a flag. and plan a maneuver to rendezvous with it. So if I go ships, we've got Moonshot 2.0, I think. Yes, okay, relative velocity. I think this may or may not be accurate. We'll find out. So, but I can switch to the target, focus the target, or just look at the target, and this will give me all sorts of information that will be very useful in making maneuvers. And this will be extra important as we do docking in space. Would have been very handy for our orbital rescue of Jeb from the last stream. But enough talking. Let's go ahead and go back to target selection, type selection. Okay, let's leave it like that. And let's go ahead and launch this thing. So throttle up, SAS on, and I've had some comments before that I need to be doing a proper countdown. So we'll go from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift off. So I'm going to go ahead and start my gravity turn, and I've got Ferram. I'm still using Ferram. Last stream I rated Rocketology, who pointed out that even the base game will show me my dynamic pressure and all of this information. And so I was intending to remove Ferram and use that, but I don't know if I can customize that window, and it shows all sorts of data that I do not want. And there was no apparent way to customize that window, so I am going to keep this. And we are definitely supersonic, and I'm not going to worry about throttling back because I've got no Kerbals aboard, so we are fine. And we have maximum aerodynamic pressure. I'm going to slightly increase my angle of attack, but I don't want to do it too much. If I go too far out of prograde, then this will cause enough drag that I will flip over. Okay, and yeah, we are heating up. If I was any more aggressive, these would explode, as I mentioned before. Here we're coming on SRB burnout. Oop, that is loud. I've got the Separatrons on. Those are so much louder than everything else. Okay, now we are up high enough that I'm just going to point straight towards the horizon and try to counter some of these gravity losses. As I mentioned, it's a very inefficient profile for this flight. We've already got an apoapsis of around 140 kilometers, but if I did a more efficient one, then we would certainly burn up on exit of the atmosphere, and that is not ideal. Alright, and we are in space. We've got the music going and everything, and we are coming on main engine cutoff. Main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start. Let's go ahead and deploy our fairing. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the engine. We've got an apoapsis of 150 kilometers, which is more than enough, and we have 2.5 minutes to apoapsis. So let's go ahead and time warp a little bit and get to very near the apoapsis, maybe about 20 or 30 seconds out. There we go. And full throttle. And these are the plumes I was talking about. That is Waterfall doing its work. Waterfall is a relatively new mod that I only recently became aware of, and it is fantastic. I like it better than Real Plume, I think, which is the old default. Alright, so now we can see our periapsis increasing, our orbital period increasing, our eccentricity decreasing, and our inclination is a little bit high. Let's see if I can counter that. Oh, that's the wrong way. This way is... Alright, we are straightening out our inclination just a bit here. And that's about all we're going to get. Okay, staying towards the horizon. And we are definitely going downwards, but that is okay. We have plenty of altitude to work with. So let's go ahead and go back to this. Target orbit is the moon. Relative velocity. Okay, so I think this might be... That might be the orbital parts. So let's go back and see landers. No targets found. Probes. ComSat. Nope. Okay, so I think that is the command pod sitting on the surface of the moon. Perfect. All right, and so now we just have to wait. This is a slower engine, but it is much more efficient, as I had mentioned. So this will work quite well. I'm going to go ahead and pitch up just a little bit. And let's take a look at the map view. We're about to achieve orbit. And as we do, our eccentricity is approaching 0, but it will never quite get there. I can get close. Okay, that is about as much as I want. Otherwise, I'm going to keep pushing this apoapsis. So that's pretty good. It's not a beautiful orbit, but it will serve our purposes. So here is the moon. Here's Moonshot 2. Okay, yeah, landed. Oh, and I've got a latitude and longitude. Fantastic. Okay, what are my notifications? Okay, these are old. Let's get them out of the way. Okay. Now, where's the moon? Here it is. So we're going to want to burn about here because it's going to be... Oh, nope, we're going this way. So we want to burn about here, about at our periapsis. So let's go ahead and add a maneuver and see where that takes us. Burning prograde, and we get our encounter. Let's go ahead and pin our moon periapsis. And we want to get that really, really low. So go ahead and push. And this is not an efficient place to burn. So let's actually burn a little bit later. Right about there, maybe. No, I don't want that. Let's edit the maneuver, please. There we go. Sometimes the UI. Okay. And push, and we've still got our moon periapsis pinned. Fantastic. And this will get us nice and close. All right, 30 kilometers, that will be great. And so that burn is coming up in about 8.5 minutes. It's a 1 minute and a few seconds burn, so we'll want to start about 30 seconds before. This one doesn't have to be super precise. We have plenty of delta V to work with. And I think this is more accurate right here. So let's go ahead and time warp a little bit and get to that maneuver node. All right, that's pretty close. Let's go ahead and start pointing prograde, because this is essentially going to be an all prograde maneuver. And just a little bit of engines to help us maneuver. Okay. Yep, node in 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and full thrust. There we go. Whoa. A little bit framey there for a moment. Alright, that is a view for sure. Gonna go ahead and take a screenshot. Let's see. I can change the field of view, like, how do I do that? Yeah, like that. There we go. Alright, and reset by double-clicking the mouse wheel. That's another thing that I learned raiding rocketology. So immediately after that raid, I was learning. So that is what I like. Alright. And yeah, so the trade-off here, efficiency, but a slower burn. And if I was really worried about efficiency, I would do multiple orbits and burn only at periapsis, but I am not that concerned with efficiency for this. I've got plenty of delta V, although I have said that before. Okay, just about done with this burn. Going to go ahead and throttle down and get rid of this, and we're just going to point prograde. There we go, and let's get this moon periapsis pinned. Okay, perfect. And there we go, 27.7 kilometers periapsis. I like it. So now we will be able to see as we change spheres of influence. Right here, the current body will change from Kerbin to the moon. So let's go ahead and do a time warp, and actually let's demonstrate. If I turn off SAS, I can initiate a barbecue roll. If I had something like Kerbalism installed that simulated radiation and heat better, then this would actually matter. For now, it's just for fun. But yeah, here I am time warping, and the rotation rate stays constant. Although, you know, accelerating time, we see it faster. All right, let's take a look. Where is the moon relative to us right now? I can't see it. It might be obscured by the sun, or it might be on the other side of the planet. Where is it? Okay, so if I look at the sun and then go counterclockwise, I should be able to see it. Ah, there it is, right there. Staring me in the face. Alright, super speed, here we go. And yeah, we've got our distance to our target. 5,000 kilometers, 5 megameters, 4 megameters, megameters. All right, we're coming into an approach. And yeah, we are over the moon, in space high over the Midlands. So let's take a look at the map again. And oh, look at that. Our periapsis is very close to the actual target. So I think if I do, no, I want the moon. There we go. Now we are focused on the moon, which will make planning this much easier. So if I center this, there it is, and that is definitely on this side, okay, because you can see these through it, and I have made that mistake before. So if I maybe add a maneuver right here, and it will be retrograde, although I will likely need to adjust this because once we get there, the moon will have rotated. So that is not going to be perfect. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and time warp again. Hope that doesn't make anyone dizzy down there. And yeah, this is a 735 meters per second burn, and we have twice that in the current stage, and that is still the transfer stage. So we've got quite a safety margin here. And starting our landing so close to the surface is going to help with fuel efficiency as well. And let's deploy our antennas before we forget that again. There we go. Extend. All right, now we've got a strong signal, which really matters this time because we don't have a pilot aboard, just the robot core. All right, we are almost there. Okay, go going to go ahead and switch views and turn on SAS to kill our rotation, and let's point retrograde. And let's change our, let's change to target. And target is essentially the same as surface, although it'll give us a better indicator of where on the nav ball. Since the target is on the surface, it is going to show us the same relative velocity as surface. And burning retrograde, and this will, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, yeah, this has moved significantly, so that's problematic. Let's go ahead and pitch upwards and raise our flight profile a little bit while also slowing down. Yeah, we're going to come down over the target, and we definitely want to dump our stage where we won't hit our target with it. That would not be ideal. I'm sure Jebediah would appreciate us not dropping rocket stages on him, especially if they still have fuel left. And can we see it? Okay, there it is right there. That's the flag, Jeff's first footprints on the moon. And we are 67 kilometers away. Yep, distance is showing that here as well. Okay. And here's our suicide burn info. So from here, we would need to burn 411 meters per second to completely stop our velocity at the surface. And we would need to do it at an altitude of 8 kilometers. And that would occur in 3 3/4 minutes. So, and I believe this is relative to the surface, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's go ahead and time warp just a bit. And then we're going to want to slow down over the target. And so this works out well. We were talking last time when we did the orbital rendezvous. If I am facing retrograde, wherever I face relative to retrograde will push retrograde away. So if I face the horizon and a little bit north, then I will be pushing my retrograde marker towards the target. And if it's exactly on there, that means I will hit the target, which I don't want to do. I want to hit close to the target. Let's go ahead and full throttle. And this will still take me over the target, which is perfect. And let's time warp just a little bit, not a ton. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and kill all of my momentum. Full throttle. Let's kill speed and then jettison this stage. Perfect, and let's see. And that is this actually. Okay, there we go. And now the landing engine. Let's go ahead and just burn it a little bit to get some distance. And let's deploy our landing legs. And even though we don't need it because we have full illumination from the sun, let's turn on our lights. Oh man, they have upgraded that graphic a lot too. Okay, that is cool. All right, screenshot. Okay, so with this engine, our suicide burn is 182 meters per second and will happen in 33 seconds. I don't want to fully trust this though. Let's go ahead and let's see, we're 9 kilometers away. I want to actually burn towards it a little bit. And get closer. Alright, so this is going to require a lot of thinking. So less talking from Dan, which is probably fine. Okay, and we're going upwards a little bit, but we are going to be... Oh, there goes our stage. Missed the explosion. Rip. Okay, yeah, we're hopping right over it like this. And I want to get within a kilometer, but I don't want to land right on top of it. And you can see the slope here. So I think if we go out a little bit, we will have more favorable slope. So let's go ahead and find retrograde. And there it is. And let's stop our lateral velocity first. And let's go ahead and point directly retrograde. This is telling me in about 15 seconds as my last chance for a suicide burn. I'm going to be a little bit early on that, maybe 5 seconds early. Let's go ahead. And suicide burns are the most efficient because they minimize gravity losses. And yeah, that actually, that was calculating very high, so that is all right. We're going to be about 3/4 of a kilometer away, which is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and slow to about 15 kilometers per second. See if I can find my shadow. There it is. Okay, let's slow down. And cut engines. Okay. Whoa! Yeah, these slopes. Had a little bit of a bounce there because of the landing legs. And we're sliding just a bit. Oh, no. Oh, okay, I thought maybe I was balancing on my engine bell there. It's very nearly that. Realistically, I probably damaged the engine bell, but fortunately for us, we're not using that kind of realism. And yeah, if we had been landed at night, we'd have these landing lights to help us find our way to the surface. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch vessels. Whoa, had a little bit of a bounce there as physics loads up. Yep, a lot of bit of a bounce. Our overpowered reaction wheels will help. Let's turn on SAS. Phew. Okay. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be leaving some of these experiments behind. Let's see if I can take any data. To do it from the crew hatch? No. Experiment storage unit, maybe. I have an experiment storage unit on the other ship. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump off. And see if I can take any of this data. No? Let's see. Remove helmet plant flag. Oh, I've got another flag. Nice. Okay. Whoa, what are you doing? You kicked your ship. Don't do that. Okay, it's not letting me take any of the data, but that is all right. the main objective here is to save Jeb. So let's go ahead and... Which way are we going? We're going southeast. Okay. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Let's get a view of this. There it is right there. Alright, Jeb. Let's turn on your jetpack. Oh. Ah! Jeb, what are you doing? Oh, I think I'm rusty on these controls. I need to be pushing Shift, not spacebar. Okay. Like that. Okay, there we go. I jumped, but I needed to also have vertical thrust. Okay, half a kilometer out. Hey, Satan, welcome. I am doing great. How about you? Playing on the still alive SMP right now? I am rescuing Jebediah from the surface of the moon where I stranded him 2 weeks ago. Sent an unmanned craft, and there is a crew capsule on it, so he is going to fly this home. There we go. Gotta slow down. Alright, gentle touchdown. There we go. And I'm going to have to redo some of my experiments since I can't take the other capsule home. I'm doing good. Just finished my item sorter and shulker unloader. I can sort 128 separate blocks in the game, practically every naturally occurring block. That is fantastic. I need to learn how to do a shulker box loader and unloader. I built my first auto sorter system just a couple months ago, finally. And they are surprisingly doable, but yeah, I haven't tried the shulker box unloader yet. Yeah, I'll definitely come see yours. Okay, let's get up here. Grab the gate. Alright, here we go, and board the ship. There we go. Jebediah is safely aboard a functional spacecraft that I have not accidentally just jettisoned all of the fuel and propellant stages from. So, mine is even output into my water stream via dropper instead of dispenser on hopper feed. Ooh, nice. That'll, I think, be easier on the lag on the server, won't it? Droppers are easier than the dispensers. I'm not fully sure. I mostly use the hoppers for vertical lines. Let's go ahead and open the service bay and do our science experiments. Observe the mystery goo. The goo seems to be less dense here. Alright, let's keep the experiment. And let's do pressure. I might already have this. Oh, there is science I can get back. Alright, from the moon's highlands, the pressure gauge is sitting there motionless. Perhaps you should tap it a few times to be sure. I think that's because we're in a vacuum. Yes, my exact idea. So for the lag, awesome. Also covered my hoppers in honey blocks to allow items in them on the water stream. Learned it from my honey game. Oh yeah, I've seen a few of the hermits do that, I think. Yeah, the honey blocks have some surprising uses, besides just being good looking. I was actually thinking about that game. Might be fun to do something in just kind of a water stream itself, and fishing out of a water stream, kind of like some carnival games do. But that'll be something we can look at on the server. I definitely am gonna give your shulker, yeah, exactly, lazy river style. Different, same idea, different game, so you can basically do the same game twice. Let's log the temperature. Temperature reminds you of how nice it really is back on Kerbin. I don't know, I think it's summertime, and that's too hot. Alright, let's go ahead and close these. And we are good to go. So now the question is, should I leave the lander on the surface as was intended by the design of the spacecraft, or take it with me because I have enough Delta V? I think I'm going to leave it just for fun. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down this engine. That way if I throttle up, it won't activate. And let's see if my design works. All right, Jeb, even though we're recovering you, we're still doing experiments for science. So here we go, full throttle, and let's just stage. Perfect, Apollo style. And let's go east. And we don't need to be on target anymore. Orbit is fine. Apoapsis, let's get up to about 20. Let's actually just point straight towards the horizon here. And there we go. I'm going to get another screenshot. Very cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the engine and coast to Apoapsis. And meanwhile, let's open this again and do the other Mr. Goo experiment. There we go. All right, so I can get just a bit more science. The Goo demands a medal for being the first non-Kerbal in EVA around the moon. It's not in EVA, so no medal for the Goo. And close. And is there a crew report I can take from here that I don't already have? There is not. But if I EVA report, I already have that as well. All right, so we'll just board. Okay. All right, I'm going to time warp to Apoapsis. And there we go, and Jebediah has skilled up a lot, so he can do all sorts of fancy maneuvers, basically everything except point at the maneuver indicator. So we're going to go prograde and just get into an orbit. All right, there we go. And that's a pretty good orbit, too. So now we need to look at where we are relative to Kerbin. All right, and we are headed this way. Okay, so we want probably to go ahead and point that way. So actually retrograde. Yeah, if I just add a maneuver here. Yeah. Let's not do that. Let's do it from over here where we're already pointed that way. That's more efficient. I have plenty of fuel, but better not to risk it. Kerbin periapsis, let's pin that. And this way. And if I can get it to just touch the upper atmosphere, which starts at 70 kilometers for Kerbin. We got 80, 70, 60 will do it. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll just go ahead and do that maneuver then. So if I time warp over to our new Apoapsis, and that's a 14-second burn, so basically I can do it whenever. And no, point retrograde, there we go. And perfect timing. Wait, nope, I'm dumb, prograde. That's all right. I've got more than enough delta V for this. Okay, so if I now pin that and get rid of this, I can just watch this manually and we'll get the real periapsis, not the predicted one. Throttle down. All right. 60 kilometers. All right, let's go ahead and go back to this view here. And we're looking right at the dark side of the moon. That's alright. Let's go ahead and time warp to better scenery. There's sunrise and there's Kerbin rise. And any moment now we will be leaving the sphere of influence of the moon. Yep, we are in Kerbin's sphere of influence. Alright, more time warping. Let's just get there and see what science we get out of this mission. And yeah, I'm rotating because I've got the persistent rotation mod installed. Definitely one of my favorites. Alright, we are almost to periapsis. And at that point, we're going to want to point retrograde. Let's go ahead and do that now. We're in the atmosphere. And right at about periapsis, let's just bleed off as much velocity as we can. We've got 329 meters per second left. And right now we'll do, all right, throttle all the way up. Why am I on target? There we go, surface. And this will make for a gentler re-entry. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and point radial out and stage. And retrograde again. Yeah, real nice to be able to have Jebediah do those himself. And let's retract the antenna so that it doesn't explode. Perfect. All right, and so now all we have to do is wait for reentry to be completed. We might have a couple of orbits here. We'll see. Yeah, we're back in space again. Okay, so we're going to be, let's go ahead and time warp all the way around. And it's going to take a few orbits in order to actually have a capture. And back into the atmosphere. And there's our periapsis, and I can watch that from here. Or apoapsis, rather. We still got 1.4 megameters. Physics warp. And hopefully this doesn't take too long, because I am eager to get to the next mission here. Coming down. And we can turn on Ferram again and see our dynamic pressure and our drag. So we got up to 500 newtons of drag there. So each time we're going to dip a little bit farther into the atmosphere and get more assistance from drag. All right, let's warp around to the next one. Let's change the camera to locked. There we go. That'll give us a cool view. And back around. It's a good thing that we're not dependent on life support, so Jeb will complain that he didn't get snacks, but that's alright. He'll live. Alright, so we've got 1.3 megameters for our apoapsis. Let's see how much it drops this time. Drag is increasing. Ooh, almost up to 0.6 kilonewtons. Let's get a screenshot of this. This is a nice view. I do far too many screenshots, probably. It's even worse in Minecraft. All right, and back out of the atmosphere. All right, we've got 1.15 megameters for our apoapsis. So just 1 or 2 more orbits should do it. And back around. Whoa, there we go. I've used a tiny bit of a blader, but I have more than enough. Yep, I should have been a little bit more aggressive on the periapsis for re-entry. But that'll be okay, lesson learned. I was being careful for Jebediah's sake. I'm sure he appreciates it, even though he's getting hungry. Oh, almost 0.6 kilonewtons. And are we going to get under a megameter for our apoapsis? Not quite. Dang it. All right. Time warp. And let's see, am I running out of electric charge? Is that why that happened? I think so. Nope. We're fine. Okay, and physics warp maximum. And as our periapsis drops as well, we'll get a better drag effect. That's why we're getting more drag each time. Meanwhile, I might as well take a sip of my drink, something Jebediah cannot do because he's run out of snacks. All right, 890 kilometers apoapsis. Almost there. Back in physics warp. Okay, yeah, our apoapsis is dropping pretty quick now. And I think we're getting less drag now because we're actually slower, so it's pretty much evening out on each orbit. But our orbital period is now less than an hour, which is great. And all right, 774 kilometers apoapsis. And just a couple more passes should do it. I could have Jebediah get out and push. I mean, that is an option. I've done it before. If he could have pushed this craft off the surface of the moon, then that would have gotten him home too, but nope. Oh, there's the Kerbal Space Center, passing right below us. I have no idea how close we're going to land to that. Okay. There you go, Satan. We had 666 kilometers for our apoapsis there for just a moment. Just for you. All right, around for another pass. Oh, that is a cool view of the deserts down there, though. Screenshot time again. Yeah, at least you're getting a view, Jebediah, so quit complaining about snacks. All right. Actually, is he getting a view? No, he's not, because I don't have the window on the hatch pointed towards the surface. He's just looking off into space, which he's been seeing for a while now. I mean, this is going 3 days since we launched from the surface of the moon. And we're definitely spending our ablator, though, so we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I don't think I've doomed you, Jeb, but, you know, we'll find out. You can't rescue Jebediah from being atomized. Okay. And the next pass. And another sip of my drink. This time we're looking at that peninsula there. I'm not sure where that is relative to Kerbal Space Center. Alright, we're dipping far enough into the atmosphere that our drag is actually increasing again on each pass. So that is good news. We're under 500 kilometers apoapsis. And we're also spending more time in the atmosphere each pass, which is also helping. So we're getting more drag, and we're getting it for longer periods of time. We're getting low on that ablator, though. We've used about half of what we took with us. I'm actually surprised it's going down so quick, considering we're not getting into very soupy atmosphere. Okay, another pass. Okay. Yeah, we're less than 45 minutes orbital period now. And drag is... Oh, we hit 600 newtons. Down to 24 units of ablator. 400 kilometers apoapsis. And is Trajectories showing me where I might land? It is not. I might have to change some settings in Trajectories. Show trajectory. There we go. Alright, so that is predicting our apoapses, so it looks like we've got 2 more passes. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that. And I think we'll be fine on the ablator if we only have a couple more passes. So Jeb, I think you will live. All right. I think this is the next to last pass. Yep, this is my rustiness showing through. I should definitely have had a better approach. All right, let's see what our drag gets to this time. (626 newtons). And we're down to 300 kilometers apoapsis. And where are we flying over? Nothing that I can identify. I don't know my Kerbin geography that well, besides where the KSC is. Alright, let's see if this is the last pass or if there's one more. And night side. I mean, he seems fine. He's just having a good time here. He's smiling wide. There we go. We have 18 units of ablator left. Okay. Yeah, most of this has been more exciting than this. Jebediah certainly has had more exciting missions, but hopefully our decreasing ablator won't cause this to end in a particularly exciting way. Jebediah is okay at this point with tame. All right. This might do it. It all depends on if our apoapsis comes down to within 70 kilometers before we leave the atmosphere, which it just might. Let's clear the target. There we go. No more need for that target. Oh, so close, so close. All right, we're back in space. Let's go around one final time. I think this really is the final time, because we've been losing at least 100 kilometers each pass, and that will take us well within the atmosphere. All right. Back in the atmosphere for one final approach. Haha. Because that's the name of the update, final approach. Anyway. All right, Jebediah, you get snacks when you come home. Okay, coming down fast, down to 12 units of ablator out of, I think we took 60 with us to start. Just, you know, saving mass at the expense of safety. And yeah, our periapsis is coming down real fast too, so yeah, I think this is definitely it. Yeah, look at that. Red means we are in the atmosphere. That's Trajectories mod showing it that way. So yeah, this is the last one. And there's our apoapsis within the atmosphere. So yep, there's no escape. We are coming down. But are we coming down safely? 7 units of ablator left. Oh boy. Okay, let's come out of time warp for the re-entry. Jeb may have noticed also that there's one fewer parachute, and if he's concerned, I don't think he should be. I think we'll be fine. Just we won't be waiting so long on the parachute phase of recovery. Meanwhile, I'm just chilling here with my lemonade. Jeb is out of lemonade. He's been up in space for 4 days now. Well, no, he's been on his way home from the moon for 4 days. It's been much longer than that he's been stranded in space. He ran out of snacks long ago. And he's about to also run out of ablator, which means this is going to start really getting hot, And as we come into the atmosphere, we can start to hear the sounds. Oh. Do I still have a Kerbal Engineer unit in there? I do. I don't need that anymore. I've got it installed on all of the capsules. That is good to note. The next one won't need that. Yep, no more ablator for Jeb. Shouldn't it be showing me the heat? It's not showing me heat in these info screens. And I really thought it would. All right. Coming in hot. This is predicting that we'll land about there. It'll be more like there once we actually slow down. And so, yeah, this is the flight path relative to the capsule, and this is the point that will be under that flight path once we get there. Yeah, we're coming in really hot. Not getting any overheat indicators though, so that's good. So far our solar panels are even fine, but we've still got some soupy atmosphere to go through. Another screenshot. I need to see if installing the reentry particle effects again causes the crash that I had on the last stream. I don't think it was related to that mod, but since that was one of the two things that I had added, it made sense to remove it to see if it resolved the crash. But I don't think it was related to either of those. Alright, and looks like we're going to be fine. I knew it. I always knew we were going to be fine. Alright, and now we can speed things up a little bit again. Let's go ahead and go back to auto camera angle. That's better. And as we get closer to the surface, we will deploy parachutes. There we go. And how much will this slow us? 3.5 meters per second. Yeah, that is plenty. We won't be quite so painfully slow getting back to the surface. Oh, that is cool. $500 meters. 400 meters. 300 meters. 200 meters. And 100 meters. As the clouds fly overhead, here we go. A little bit overcast for this landing, sorry Jeb. But at least it's during the day for once. And perfect landing. Let's see, where are we? We're in the grasslands. Okay, there's no new science to be gathered here, unfortunately. Let's just recover the vessel. Welcome home again, Jebediah Kerman. Second time rescued in as many streams. Where will he get stranded next? Okay, oh yes, we got 88 science out of that. And recovered a bit of funds. And he is advanced to level 2, which we were already using. So let's unlock some science. 175. So I can unlock one of these or one of these, almost two of these. So what have we got? Aerodynamics would give us some of these propeller parts and some more wings and a smaller nose cone. The nose cone would be nice. I'm not going to do planes yet. Landing gives us our escape system and bigger landing legs. I don't particularly need those yet. Space exploration gives us deployable science. Yeah. And work lamps. That's cool. Miniaturization. Okay, these are the actual science experiments, or some of them. And we get the docking port. So that is very tempting there. That's the most tempting so far. But heavier rocketry, bigger engines. We're doing fine with our current engines. So let's see, advanced fuel systems gives us bigger fuel tanks. That might be what we want. Specialized construction. Oh, a bigger fairing. I really want a bigger fairing. Ooh, and a bigger flag. Ooh. Oh, and it gives us a docking port. So, yeah, that's two things. It's not the small docking port, but it's a docking port. Robot parts. And my cat is trying to get in here. Let's see. Avionics hub, reaction wheel, vector engine. Here's the big command pod. And the cupula module. And a bigger service bay. Okay, I think I know what I want, though. Yeah, I know what I want, and it is this bigger fairing and this docking port. So, research. There we go. So let's take a look at our rocket design and see what we can do with the bigger fairing. I think we can improve the aerodynamics quite a bit. And then maybe send someone to Minmus. Okay, so if I take... So there's a fuel tank there. Let's take that off. And let's take this fairing off. So now if I go to payload and grab this bigger fairing... Yeah, that can encapsulate this. Oh, it's a little bit tight though, so it doesn't like that. There we go. No, yeah. Is it clipping there and it doesn't like it? I think it is. Okay, so let's just go slightly bigger. No, let's move these in slightly. Not a lot because I don't want this to be cheaty. Just the tiniest little bit. Okay, there we go. And let's build this fairing and see if that lets me place it. Yes, okay, perfect. And like that. Ah, oh, beautiful. Okay, that looks so much better. And let's make it silver. Okay, I like that a lot better. And 3 sides, I want 2 sides. Ejection force, let's go ahead and go... Let's go 400. And clamshell deploy. Alright, so now, if I go back to my fuel tanks... And which size do I want? I think it's this one. This one. Okay, perfect. And pop that on there. And that that is a much nicer looking rocket. And it has more delta V. In fact, that's a bit much. let's go with this. There we go. Same delta V, better looking rocket, better aerodynamics, I think. Let's take a look. It's still telling me that is much higher than I think it really should be. I think that is Kerbal being Kerbal, unfortunately. Okay, what other options do we have? Bigger flags, that's right. Let's take these off and place that in landscape mode, and yeah, and the size refers to the diameter of tank that it is conformal to. So yeah, that is... Oh, I didn't do the fireworks on that last mission. Whoops. Okay, that flag will look better. Let's go ahead and go large. And put it on both sides, and we'll put it down here. Alright, look at that. And so now I want... Well, let me put this on here. I don't see it. Okay, maybe it's the wrong size. Nope, it just doesn't want to show it on those boosters. That's a shame. Okay, but now I've got Moonshot 2.2. And let's make sure, okay, that can be in its own stage. That is fine. Okay, perfect. I like it right there. Alright, I think this is a good looking rocket here, and let's see about, first, let's see what contracts are available. And probably send this to either a rescue mission or to Minmus for more science. Alright, mission control, what are my active contact? Okay, position a satellite. I've got 11.5 years to do that. That is fine. I'm not going to worry about it yet. Available. Attach a new part to the satellite in orbit of Kerbin. Oh, this is something new in 1.12. Is EVA construction. So, okay, explore Minmus though. Orbit, orbital spacewalk, and return to Kerbin. Yeah, let's do that. That's that gives me tons of funds, tons of spaceos, and tons of science. Accept. And let's just go for it. And hopefully, let's look at this again. Hopefully that's not a problem. They're slightly more separated than they were for 2.1. But as long as I don't go too far out of prograde, I should be okay. And who's flying this thing? We want Jebediah. And I can get rid of that part. Don't need it. And that gives us about 10 meters per second extra delta V. Excellent. And am I missing any science that I could be putting on there? Science Junior. Not yet. Okay, here we go. Let's just launch. I think we have just enough time left for a good Minmus mission. Oh. The Twitch Authority. Oh. Yep, I think this is... Well, at least that shows off my cool new fall animation. Yeah, these are the guys going around, I think, scamming people. So we'll see what happens here. Alright, throttle up, SAS on. Jebediah is ready to go. And let's launch. Fit data. Okay, not too aggressive because we don't want to overheat. And yeah, it is fighting me. Let's go ahead and point prograde and have Jebediah do the hard work. through the clouds. That was cool. Oh, got a little bit of an oscillation. That's Jebediah on the stick a little aggressively there. Watch it, Jebediah. And we are well past max Q. I missed the call out there. Oh, and we have milestones. Crew transfer near the moon, spacewalk, and return home from the surface. Alright. SRB burnout. Oh, that's loud again. And SRB separation. Alright, and let's go ahead and point directly towards the horizon. I'm not sure why the Separatrons specifically are so loud compared to the other engines. Like, really, this should be the loudest engine on this ship. Okay. Yeah, I like the look of this. None of that weird bulbous egg going on. Let's not forget our fireworks. There we go. And we have main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start, and fairing deploy. And I'm going to go ahead and let this burn until we either have a good orbit or my apoapsis is at 200 kilometers, and I don't need Ferram up anymore. Yeah, Jebediah, you didn't get any time to rest, did you? Did you even get snacks? I don't remember getting any snacks, so I'm going to assume no unless you snuck some onto the ship. Which you'd better not have. Alright. Coming up on an apoapsis of 200 kilometers. And that will complete the first burn of the second stage engine. And shut down. Alright, let's go ahead and warp to apoapsis. Or shortly before it. There we go. And point prograde and full throttle. And then just point towards the horizon. There we go. Alright, and that will certainly get us to orbit. Oh man, I like the blue glow that gives to the parts as well. What a great mod. Alright. And where is Minmus? Minmus is around that way. I think it'll go about to here before we get there, but we'll be able to plan the maneuver precisely in map mode once we have a good orbit. And Minmus is actually easier than the moon, with the one exception of it is on a slightly inclined orbit. So we will have to account for that, but its tiny size and extremely low gravity make it a very easy landing. And once you're to orbit, it's very little difference in delta V getting to the moon versus Minmus. Alright, let's cut the engines and plan our maneuver. And I think we're going to want it right about here. And let's see if that gets us an encounter. Not quite. So let's go ahead and keep that in view and move this around a little bit and see. I'm not sure what the ideal phase angle is. Oh, there we go. Okay, and yeah, look at that. Got inclination, and that would slingshot us. We'd get a gravity assist with that burn. So actually, let's go ahead and kill that. Celestial bodies, let's go Minmus. Alright, so our relative descending node is in 5 minutes. And let's see. Relative inclination is 5.6 degrees. So if I put a maneuver on the descending node, that is the best place to change relative inclination. And so I will want to go normal, I believe. And let's pin the descending node. There we go. Yeah, normal, and this is where our inclinations intersect. So that is why this is the best place to do this. All right, and that maneuver, 208 meters per second. That is more costly than the difference in altitude of the two celestial bodies. So this will match our inclinations. And that's a 17-second burn coming up in 4.5 minutes. And let's have Jebediah point normal. Okay, perfect. And we are almost there, and we will burn and match inclinations to Minmus. I'm going to follow the maneuver marker. It's the one thing that Jebediah can't automatically do yet. He still needs to level up to do that. Okay. And that'll do it. Alright, so now our relative inclination is 0.06 degrees. So we are essentially matched in inclination to Minmus. So now, I don't need to pin this anymore. Alright, so now if I plan, let's see, there's Minmus, and it'll be about here. So if I go right here and add a maneuver, and this time simply burn prograde. I could combine those two maneuvers, but I'm not that good. I'm a little rusty. Okay, what kind of encounter will this get us? And there's our approach. Okay, that is a really good one, and we're coming down on the other side of it. So let's actually burn later. Right there, that is nominal. And what is our periapsis? Okay, 1.8 thousand meters, or million meters. Yeah, I think I want to tweak this a little bit, actually. Let's go ahead and do that and adjust our timings again. Alright, there is a pretty good approach. And Minmus periapsis. Okay. And yeah, we have almost 5 kilometers per second delta V left, so that is plenty. Maneuver is in 6.5 minutes, and it's a 1-minute burn. So let's go to about 30 seconds before it. And this is prograde, so let's go ahead and have Jebediah point prograde now. And with persistent rotation installed, he will be able to maintain that attitude through time warp. There we go. Excellent. Alright, burn in 10 seconds. Oh, I just realized I didn't do a proper countdown for this liftoff. That's alright. Let's, alright, full throttle. And I'll follow the maneuver marker. Alright, halfway through this burn. Okay, and the faster we go, the quicker we move our apoapsis. So, the last few meters of delta V do the bulk of the visual change of the orbit. So, alright, let's throttle down a little bit for more precision. And there's an encounter. Let's go ahead and dismiss this. And let's pin the Minmus periapsis and see what we can do with it. Point prograde Jebediah. There we go. Okay, now we've got an impact. we don't want that. But a tiny nudge backwards will fix that. And here we go. There we go. So now we've got a 90-kilometer periapsis. Yeah, from all the way over here, we've got way too much leverage for precision adjustment of that periapsis. So that is more than close enough. All right, let's go ahead and time warp to Minmus. And Minmus is tiny, so it's going to be a lot harder to see. Let's deploy our antenna. We have a pilot this time, so if we lose communications, he can still fly the ship. But still, I like to have my connection to home. There we go. Yeah, and out here we are flying very slow, 200 meters per second at this point. And here comes Minmus from behind us. And by now, I think we should be able to see it. Yeah, so there's Kerbin, there's the moon. There's Minmus right there. So let's stay in this view for now. Oh, we've got to roll. That's all right. Keep Jeb nice and comfortable. And here we come to Minmus. And how far are we from SOI change? 44 minutes. And yeah, this took us 12 days to get here. So Jebediah is quite the space veteran, and now we're flipping. That's okay. A little bit of gravity for Jeb, and he's loving the centrifuge. So this is probably more pleasant than what he had before, which could, you know, give him some nausea. All right, we are in Minmus sphere of influence. So let's take a look at our trajectory. I think this is for our mission to put something into a stationary orbit around Minmus. That's not what we're doing this time. We are going to periapsis, and I'm not going to do maneuver nodes. I'm just going to warp to there and burn retrograde, which we're already pointing. Fantastic. And periapsis is in 19 minutes. All right, let's get a screenshot. Nice. Okay. And yeah, this stage still has a kilometer per second of delta V. And so we will easily be able to do this. The question is, where do we want to land? So let's go ahead and reset our field of view. There we go. And warp to periapsis. As we get to periapsis, we'll also be pointing towards the horizon. Alright, let's go ahead and burn. And let's watch this escape swing around and become an orbit. And we have orbital capture, and we have messages here. Alright, a stable orbit has been achieved. Mission Control is still debating the best way to get you back home. You packed a toothbrush, right? I don't think you did, but he'll be fine. And entered orbit of Minmus. Alright. Let's circularize this. Looking good. Okay, so let's go ahead and land. Let's actually make this a tight orbit so that we have better control over where we land. Maybe 20 kilometers should do it. Okay, there we go. Just under 20 kilometers. And now if we warp to this new periapsis. Well, meanwhile, I will take another sip of my drink. We're in space height. While we're here, let's take a crew report and an EVA report. Crew report. The lake beds seem relatively flat. Perhaps we could land there. No science for a crew report high over Minmus? Have I already done that? Oh, I think I did. I had a secondary encounter with Minmus. So yeah, we've flown by Minmus before. We didn't do an EVA though, I think. So let's do that. EVA report? No, we did. Looks so small and yet so delicious. I forgot. We've already been here, but we haven't landed and we haven't been in orbit. Explore Minmus. Exceptional work. Now get it back into the vessel before this turns into a rescue mission. Oh yeah, I needed to do a spacewalk. Just did. Alright, performed a spacewalk in orbit of Minmus. Excellent. Alright, board the craft. Alright, let's get to that periapsis. Did we get this close? If I go in space low, is that new? That is new. Alright, we've already seen that, but let's go ahead and transmit that data. And EVA. EVA report. You need to do something about the lack of snacks here. I knew you didn't have snacks. Haha. Alright, board, and let's transmit that. We're in shadow, so we're not recharging our batteries. If you store data, let's... Oh, here we go. The mesmerizing aquamarine flats almost make you forget to keep one hand on the ship's handle at all times. Good thing you're inside. Funny how the crew report changed as we logged it. Okay, so now, how much science do we have? 77, okay. Okay. And we'll have more biomes that I can do an EVA on. Alright, turn the SAS back on, retrograde, and fire thrusters. Alright, now I've got a nice, tight, low orbit. So, where do we want to land? That is the question. Let's take a look at where we're going to be flying and what we'll fly over. And we can change our inclination easily, but I think right here, that looks pretty great. So let's add a maneuver right there. and that will give us something to aim for. Awesome. And we'll probably have to adjust it because Minmus will be rotating before we get there. Yeah, so we want to push this out. There we go. And actually, I think I can eliminate the anti-normal component of that maneuver. And just go, whoops, just go retrograde at this point. Yeah, I can. Okay, that makes this easy. So 2 minutes. Alright, so we'll just point retrograde and burn. There we go. And yeah, our suicide burn delta V is only going to be 100 meters per second because the gravity is so low on Minmus. So let's go ahead and let's ditch this transfer stage. It has served us well. Burn just a little bit to get some distance. There we go. And that will crash far away from us. Perfect. And landing gear deployed. Let's go ahead and time warp a little bit. We have 24 minutes until point of no return for a suicide burn. Let's change this to surface. There we go. Whoa. Where are you going, buddy? There we go. Alright, we have 30 seconds. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and throttle up and kill some velocity. I don't need to worry so much about efficiency because we have so much delta V. I'm more worried about safety of Jeb. Whoa, that was interesting. We jumped as I went into time warp, and we did it again. Alright, Kerbal. Oh, I missed the explosion again. Okay. Slow down just a little bit. Well, let's turn on our lights. And we are landing in the day on the Midlands. Might as well get a crew report. No, let's not do that while we're landing. Patience, Dan. You'll save time with patience. Okay. Coming down nice and gentle at extremely deep throttle. And cut engines. Excellent. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a crew report from the surface. You tried jumping into the air and strafing at the same time now, if only you had a water pistol. Are you doing that inside? It's a really good thing you don't have a water pistol. Let's transmit that data. That'll be enough for another technology. And let's do some science experiments. Let's open the service bay and observe the mystery goo. Alright, the goo begins to resemble a particularly delicious bowl of rocky, minty ice cream you had once. You slap yourself out of it. Yeah, don't eat the mystery goo. We don't actually know what it is. And I think we should do another mystery goo once we are off the surface. Meanwhile, let's get temperature and pressure. Log temperature. You secretly wish the temperature were hot enough to cause you to sweat. You packed extra ice cream for the occasion. You did pack snacks. You so-and-so. All right. Hey, Raider, welcome. Yeah, you saw the landing? Okay, so this is the second good landing on this mission. You'll notice I have Jebediah Kerbin aboard. I had a successful rescue from the surface of the moon, and you missed the very tedious process of multiple passes through Kerbin's atmosphere just to slow down enough for a re-entry. But here we are on Minmus, and logging pressure data. Collected and recorded atmospheric pressure data from the surroundings. So we don't have a community science for that. So let's go ahead and close these doors. And let's go on EVA. Whoa. Whoa. Don't pull the ship over, Jeb. I think we could recover in this low gravity, but still. EVA report. You have confirmed that the surface does not taste like mint ice cream. Let's keep that experiment and transmit it right now. And then we can go to the surface and take another crew report. Yeah, this is going to be extremely lucrative. 147 already, and that doesn't even count the experiments we're going to take back physically. Alright, let's EVA again. I think we have just enough time to go and plant a flag and take a surface sample, and then go home. Let's let go. Yeah, low gravity. And careful landing. Awesome. Alright, let's do another EVA report. Okay, so it's still the same EVA report. So we will instead take a surface sample. And you realize that the ground here looks more like cookie dough than it should be the mint ice cream on the flatlands. Your mouth starts to water. And that's what really has my mouth watering, is 150 science. We're going to keep that sample and take it home. And let's plant a flag. All right. And oops. All right. Another safe, incident-free landing, like they always are. We are writing history. Who is going to argue with us in the future when they come to visit? Nobody, that's who. Okay, so am I close enough to another biome that it's worth a walk? I think yes. Let's go this way. And activate the jetpack. There we go. Yeah, in this low gravity, I can do plenty of this, and I have barely enough time that I should be able to do this. And let's go ahead and set this as a target, though. Or not. I'll be able to see it. And how's my fuel? Okay, we're doing fine. There we go. Jeb is having quite a time here. There we go. That's a view. Jeez. Screenshot time. All right, and let's get some more altitude. Jeb's going pretty fast here. Okay. Alright, yeah, I don't want to set him down too hard. And he is having a great time. Alright, here we come into the flats. Getting greedy for science, that's what's happening. Let's slow him down. Alright, now we're going straight down and to a gentle, gentle landing. Don't want to break Jeb's legs. He just wants a different flavor of ice cream. There we go. Alright, so let's do... Can I take another surface sample? No, I can't. Not without overriding that, so we'll do an EVA report. From Minmus Lesser Flats, you have confirmed that the surface does not taste like mint ice cream. Alright, well, we will keep that experiment, and let's head back to the ship, which is 12 kilometers that way. Let's just get all the speed. There we go. Man, this just looks like fun. One of these days, hopefully, it's technically feasible. I might be able to visit space in my lifetime. If not, my kids sure will. Alright. Still not high enough to do regular time warp. Eight kilometers. Can I do time warp now? Nope, not yet. Want to make sure I can clear this saddle right here. Here we go. And don't worry, if you want to see the daring rescue by unmanned craft of Jebediah Kerbin, it will certainly be on the VOD. Four kilometers remaining, and I don't want to clip this. So let's get a little more altitude here. There we go. Okay, a lot more altitude. In fact, I'm going to burn downwards. There we go. And backwards. We need to kill our lateral velocity. There we go. Perfect. Perfect flight. Hey, Kung! Welcome. You're in time for the near the end of the stream. And hey, you are the first to see my brand new follow alert graphic. Thank you for following. Alright, so I last stream, which was 2 weeks ago, got Jebediah Kerbin, who's right here, spoiler alert, safe and sound, stuck on the surface of the moon after the previous stream getting him stuck in orbit of the moon. So I rescued him, and now he has come to be the first person to set foot on Minmus, the second moon of Kerbin. Okay. Oh, why are we in orbit? There we go. Perfect. Perfect landing. So, have you ever played Kerbal, Kung? Let's get back in the ship. Whoop. Whoa, that's quite the jump. Minmus basketball would be an interesting thing. Grab, alright, and let's not topple the thing. You have not played. Alright, just wanted to check your stream. Also going to sleep after hanging out in Anna's stream. Awesome. Yeah. Yep, Wednesdays I do Minecraft, and on Saturdays we do the Kerbal Space program. Okay, so that is the end of the operational portion of this mission. Let's go ahead and... We've got... Yeah, let's leave the lander. Let's, just like we did on the moon, shut down this engine so that when I throttle up, it doesn't activate. So full throttle, and if I stage, I will leave the lander and only have the ascent vehicle. And there we go. And let's head east. Open up the service bay. Let's head right towards the horizon, and let's do the other mystery goo experiment. The goo feels right at home here. That's a familiar one. Okay. And, okay, we already have an escape, so let's be careful about that. Mostly play online competitive games like Valorant, Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2. I used to play a ton of Dota 2, and I ended up just not having enough time to stay competitive on it, so I have not played in about two years or so, a little more than 2 years, unfortunately. But that is one of my favorite games. Okay, we have quite the escape. Alright, let's go ahead and time warp to here. Let's cancel that. I can just do this manually. And on another mission, I will get more science. I have plenty for some technology upgrades. Best competitive game is Clone Hero, says Raider. Yeah, Raider is big into Clone Hero, which I have never played. Delete and close. Okay. Let's get back into the sphere of influence of Kerbin. Alright. And remind me, Kung, where are you from? You've told me before, but I don't want to get it wrong. Let's point retrograde. And yeah, we are way out here going very fast. So let's move just a little bit. And let's burn. And we should be able to do this. I hope I don't start regretting leaving all that Delta V on the surface of Minmus. I might get Jebediah stuck in orbit of the sun from Malaysia. Oh, that's right, Malaysia. Yes. Southeast Asia. All over the place. So we've had in chat today the United States, France, and Malaysia. Am I doing this right? Uh-oh. Well, I might have started a tradition of ending the stream with Jebediah in a dire situation. So, I have 2 days and almost 4 hours before we escape Kerbin's sphere of influence. And then we will be in this... Oh, we will be intersecting the orbit of Duna. But not actually an encounter. I think Duna will likely be over here at that point. Interesting. Well, I think I'm going to leave it on this cliffhanger. We're going to leave Jebediah right here and rescue him once again. Let's see, orbit. I think that's... Oh, that's the problem. I was burning the wrong way because it had me on surface. Okay. Alright, let's just see what this does. What can I get? I can at least buy some time. Yep. Oh, man. Oh, that was a rusty noob mistake there, having the wrong frame of reference. No wonder it had me so fast. Oh, there we go. If Satan's still watching, this is where the screenshot too. Whoops. 666 meters per second. I'm going to share that with Satan if he's not still here. All right, but yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Another derp. Ending the stream with a derp and Jebediah Kerman stranded in orbit around the sun in an escape of Kerbin's sphere of influence. So we're going to have to send someone after him on the next stream. Alright, this looks interesting, says King Kong. Not gonna lie, very interested with star and aerospace kind of thing. Yeah, this and Minecraft are my two favorite games. This one is... It's very simplified orbital mechanics, but it is real orbital mechanics, and it is tons of fun and super addicting. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and see who is online that I can raid. I need more. Tyler Reyes is not online anymore. He was earlier. And it looks like Rocketology isn't online either. So, let's see who is online. Let's go to Twitch. And let's look at Kerbal Space Program. And see if there's someone new that we can raid. Okay, so we've got Isa. I think that's how he pronounces that. Launchpad static testing, space news, and flight tests. Okay, so he's a well-known name in Kerbal Space Program. Hasn't been streaming at the same time as me before, so let's go ahead and raid him. And I'm gonna leave it there and see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. No worries. See you later, King Kong. I'll see you online on the Still Alive SMP. Alright, that's it. See you guys later. Starting the raid now. Okay.
Denver Pig. What's up, dude? How are you? Nothing much. Just rescued Jeb from the moon, only get him stuck in orbit around the sun. Oof. Oof. You very rusty? Yeah. Kerbal's a tough game, man. Tough game. Really tough game. You'll have to rescue him later. Hopefully he has enough snacks. Sorry for the noob question. You can ask questions anytime, Mem. I don't care. What is the origin of the whole Kraken thing? Basically, they, the Kraken Kerbal, when they first released it, had a lot of glitches in it. It had a lot of glitches that could get your spacecraft to just explode.